Hey guys, I just wanted to make a quick video here, maybe help a few fellas out with their boat builds or their K24Z3 builds. I'm working on this K24Z3 out of a 2011 Honda Accord for the last few months here. It's got CP 10-to-1 compression forged pistons, Brian Crower H-beam rods with the 625 rod bolts, head studs from 4-piston, they are ARP, the drag Cartel timing chain and tensioner, the 4-piston ported oil pump, and the Wix oversized oil filter adapter. It's got the Jackspania billet intake manifold, the Skunk 2 magnesium valve cover, the 4-piston front timing cover, and the PLM front pulley. These engine mounts I made myself, and then I bought these engine mounts out of from eBay for like a Yanmar diesel out of a sailboat. I believe that's what they're for. It's an OEM Honda starter. I didn't want to have that failing on me when I'm way up the river if I were to buy a knockoff brand starter. It's an RSRacecraft thermostat housing with a 60-degree Celsius thermostat. Fizzle coupler. I believe it uses the Kawasaki dampener in here. It came with this polyurethane dampener, which might last forever. We'll find out. I just took this plate here. I took 4 pieces of 1/4 inch, sandwiched them together, cut them out with the bandsaw, and then put a plate over top here to protect you from the flywheel when it's running so you don't get your fingers chopped off. This adapter piece here, everyone seems to use U-joints with drive shafts and all that, which is great, but it would move the engine forward like a foot, and I didn't want that. I wanted the extra room in the boat, so I drew up a drawing here, and I brought them this coupler, and I brought them the OEM flywheel to get the bolt hole pattern, and they whipped this up for me in a couple days. Did a really nice job. These bolts were very hard to find. I had to find them on eBay from a place in China. They are a M12 by 1 thread pitch. You can buy all kinds of different ARP hardware like this for a car, but nothing is long enough. So if you're doing that, good luck. I have a G25 660 Garrett turbo coming. It's a reverse rotation turbo. So hopefully I can get the exhaust housing to, I'll make a plate that bolts on here, and hopefully I can get the turbo to tuck in a little bit into this void here, saving on width of the engine so that I can still put some back seats in here beside where the engine's going to go, or at least somewhat. The 4-piston oil pump, I had to modify that a bit to get to fit in here. I built my own oil pan out of 1/4 inch thick aluminum, TIG welded it up. The oil drain I put right at the back corner there. I still need to get an oil cooler. I haven't decided if I'm going to use a Honda style oil cooler that goes between the adapter and the block, or if I'm going to use a bar and plate style. Some of the problems I ran into building the Z3 engine, which was kind of frustrating. This water pump block-off plate says it's for a K24. Does not tell you that it's not for a K24Z3, which this one bolt hole is off. Also, the head gasket, I bought a Cometic head gasket. It says right there that it is for a K20 or K24. Does not fit a K24Z3. So now I have an ornament sitting up there on the wall. There's that oil port right there on a Z3 is 90 degrees to the crankshaft, not 45 like that. Wish I would have known that. Would have saved me 205 bucks. So I had to go to Honda and buy an OEM head gasket. Also, the Skunk 2 valve cover, there's these 2 holes right here, are off by about 1 millimeter. I don't know if that's a Z3 thing or if that's a Skunk 2 thing or what, but if you can look right there, those things don't sit flush because they're just slightly off. I tried loosening off the bolts on the cam caps to try and move them with no luck. But we'll see how that works. I may have to use the factory style hardware to seal that up. Hopefully I don't, because they're not as pretty as these ones. Also, if you're painting one of these valve covers, don't paint underneath the oil cap. I made that mistake, and now the oil cap doesn't go on nice and straight like it should have. This here came with the K20 style oil pump upgrade from 4-piston. I just drilled and tapped a pipe thread hole here for the turbo oil drain, because that just goes straight into the oil pan right here. That'll make it nice and simple. Also, this fitting here, I read on some forum that this is BSP thread for this oil pressure sensor. So pass that information on to you guys. Just got this stainless steel fitting on Amazon with an NPT thread here, so it'll be nice and easy to run a hose up to the feed for the turbocharger. What else can I tell you? PLM front pulley fits really nice. They're good to deal with, fast shipping. Definitely would recommend. Real Street is where I bought most of my parts from. They were great to deal with, fast shipping, very knowledgeable. I bought the SuperTech dual valve springs with titanium retainers and the Ferrea Competition Plus series valves. The mini jet boat that I have right now, I have a Yamaha Nitro sled engine in it. And it's fully built with CP pistons and rods and all that. And a 2871 turbocharger. But the exhaust temps on it run about 1500 degrees continuously. And sometimes I hold the throttle for an hour straight at 10 pounds of boost. And it hasn't blown up. So I wanted to make this thing as durable as possible. So I got the best valves I could get, to my knowledge. With this setup right here, this here is very close to the intake. It'll clear it, but just barely. Also with my oil pan, same thing. Barely any clearance under there, but it will work. RSRacecraft makes a oil pump and oil pan kit if you're interested in going that route. I figured I had the technology here. I would make my own. And it does work, but it's an option for people in the future. 4-piston, I bought these cam gears because I wanted to do away with the VTC system just for reliability and simplicity's sake, but they don't fit the 4-piston camshafts. The camshafts are a little bit different in length, so when you put these gears on, they don't line up with the chain. I emailed them to see if I could return them, no response. I'm going to run all AN style fittings with braided hose. I'm going to use a heat exchanger and run its own coolant. I'm going to use an AccuSump to help with the oiling, because the oil pan is not going to hold as much oil as a factory one would. Could go with a dry sump, but they're about $10,000, and I was like, well, that's a lot to jump to go that route. So what I figured I'm going to do is use an AccuSump. Maybe I'll mount it across here and tie it into the oil system. That way, if you're cornering hard, you know, at least you don't have to worry about an oil supply issue for the couple of seconds you might be short on oil pressure. The AccuSump can take up for that. And also, if you shut the engine off, the AccuSump can drain into the engine and replenish some of the oil. So at least you can have, you know, 4 or 5 liters of oil capacity instead of 2 or 3, which this oil pan will probably only hold. I put a factory knock sensor in there. I'm probably going to take one of those 2-wire Bosch knock sensors and mount it here someplace, to one of these spots, or I'm not too sure yet, but the 2-wire Bosch knock sensors apparently are a lot better. I'm going to go with Haltech engine management system, the Nexus S2 ECU and all that. HPA, Horsepower Academy, on YouTube. They have a lot of lessons and videos available, and you can buy their online lessons if you choose to do so. So that's why I'm picking Haltech, because they seem to have a lot of information available for them. Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you guys about this, but if you have any questions, give me a shout in the comments and I'll reply to you and help you the best I can. Thank you.